Alright, welcome back to another Art of War 3 replay. I'm your host, John Cena, and today we're going to be doing a clan 2v2 battle. I'm going to be the green player, and the ally for this battle is going to be none other than clan leader MOG, and MOG is going to be the blue player. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to be facing off against two resistance players. And you can see from the beginning title before entering the battle, both these resistance players are from top 100 clans that have both obtained medals in tournaments. So let's go and get into it. This will possibly be an interesting battle. We'll see what unfolds as we get into it. We can see here that we got a coyote coming into my base here from the yellow player. This is going to get a nice scout for the resistance players on my base and MOG's base. So we can see that right now we're just building infrastructure up, just continuing to tech up. My plan is to go for HQ3, get a cyclone out, and then get some scouting onto the red and yellow players' bases just to see what they're up to. So I built a construction yard in the corner of my base there. I'm going to expand my base onto the little plateau cliff just so I have some more build room to work with. Meanwhile, we got some riflemen coming in from the yellow player. They're going to clean up my little scout there. This looks like a small rush here. We got an armadillo and some infantry coming in. I've got another cyclone on the way. But one cyclone's not going to be quite enough to deal with this assault force. So meanwhile, my other cyclone, we're getting a nice scout on the bases. We can see that yellow is upgrading to HQ3. So looks like we're faster on the base development compared to yellow. Red is already HQ3. They got a couple anti-air towers down. MOG coming in to help with another cyclone. Looks like those riflemen from earlier were cleaned up, and that armadillo is going to retreat. So I try to leave my cyclone here on the cliff. Looks like red was smart enough to go and check it out with some riflemen. My cyclone gets spotted and it's shot down. So I'm going for a 6 supply center build. MOG is going for a 7 supply center build. I'm going to go ahead and be upgrading my assault vehicle factory and my special vehicle factory here just so I can get some Zeus and Torrents out. And MOG is also going to be getting some Zeus out as well and some Torrents. So a couple bunkers coming down for both of us. This is just to prevent any further scouting and provide some basic defense. Looks like we got a helicopter here, a dragonfly from the red player coming in, so we know that red's got an avia factory somewhere. We might see some hawks later in the game. MOG cyclone coming in now, and it's going to be targeting down this yellow cyclone, the yellow coyote. Coyote's trying to retreat, but that cyclone is in pursuit, and that coyote is going to get cleaned up by the cyclone. So MOG is going to move the cyclone into the red player's base, so we can see good infrastructure from the red player, 6 supply centers, an avia factory, and an airfield. So we're expecting already some hawks. So in response to those hawks, I'm going to go ahead and drop an anti-air tower, and I'm going to start to make some typhoons. This should be enough to deter a full-on attack from the red player. Here comes the red player with a hawk. So this video is actually sped up to 125%, but at normal speed, one of the things that we both noticed was that the red player's hawks were flying pretty slow, which tells us that the hawks are not maxed out, or they're not being boosted. So, this is some crucial information. Gives us an idea of what our opponents are capable of. We see some riflemen trying to get another scout in. Those torrents are going to deny scouting. Looks like MOG is going to be upgrading his avia factory. Here comes the hawks, though, getting some harassment in, but that hawk gets shot down in one volley. So we know these hawks are nowhere near maxed out, which is good news for us. So MOG is going to be upgrading that avia factory, dropping an airfield, and he's going to get out some vertex. Meanwhile, I'm going to go for HQ4, and I'm just going to be continuing to build a ground army. Here comes some harassment, though, from the yellow player. Yellow's got some mammoths, so MOG is going to move in with a Zeus tank. And we can see that yellow's got a defensive line set up with the Jaguars, and red's coming in to support with hawks. Now, I've got a couple cyclones here. We can see that yellow has made a mistake here, which was to not support the defensive line with porcupine. Porcupines are coming in now, but not before yellow takes a loss of one of their mammoths. I'm going to go ahead and retreat so I don't lose the cyclone. Hawks are coming in now for the red player to try and support yellow. MOG's Zeus tanks, though, are just shredding these yellow vehicles. We got one deployed mammoth and one undeployed mammoth and a porcupine. Hawks are continuing to put fire onto the Zeus tanks, but those Zeus tanks are pretty hefty, and MOG's got a torrent to support, so this is no problem. MOG is going to go ahead and clean up that harassment force. Meanwhile, I've got a ground army moving up on the right side of the map. Eventually, I'm either going to move into the center of the map, or I'm going to move up the side and attack yellow from the side. I haven't quite decided yet, but my position is going to allow me to move to either space on the map. So we can see now another defensive line being set up by the yellow player. We got jaguars, mammoths, and porcupines. But we got some Zeus coming in, and I sent in a cyclone to help out, but it's not going to help out too much because that's a lot of porcupine fire. So we got some action going on here. Red and yellow reinforcing this position. Here comes a Vertex from MOG. Nice maneuvering from the Vertex to minimize the amount of anti-air fire. And those Vertex are just continue to fly circles. One Vertex is going to go down for MOG. So meanwhile, in this time, we're just continuing to build our respective armies. Here comes some Hawks, though. They're going to shoot down that Typhoon. Typhoon's going to be gone for MOG. Not a problem, though. We're still continuing to produce units here. So right now, pretty close to about 80 command points worth of vehicles. Looks like we got some movement up the center here. MOG's got 6 torrents. That is a lot of firepower, and he's got a Typhoon. Here comes the Hawks, though. They're coming back to dish out some more damage. And the red player looks like they know what they're doing, but the Hawks are doing a good job of maneuvering them. And MOG is going to be taking some losses for those torrents there. Meanwhile, though, I just cleaned up a scout there with my Zeus, so both resistance players know that I've got a ground army on the side of the map. So we can see there's a sniper tower there. I'm actually going to take care of that sniper tower first, just to deny yellow of the visual control over the plateau before I move my army into position. So here comes the porcupine from the yellow player, and the Hawks from the red player are coming back in. I've got a red air raid boost going just to give my Typhoon some extra firepower. I don't want to stop right now. I just want to get my army into position and then move on to yellow. My hunch is that they don't have enough ground forces to defend properly at this entrance, so I'm going to try and take advantage of that. Here comes a single grenadier from the yellow player. Not going to do a whole lot, though. And I have got my torrents deployed. Zeus are in position. My Zeus are now moving into the yellow player's base. And meanwhile, MOG is moving up the center. We see a mammoth from the red player not being microed properly. It's not getting deployed. My Zeus tanks are moving in. Yellow's got some jaguars deployed in a defensive position. It's good positioning, but this is just too many Zeus for the yellow player to deal with. We can see that yellow is HQ4 at this time. So possibly had this battle gone for longer, we might have seen some chameleons, but that's not going to be the case. MOG is moving up the center some more with his Zeus tanks and torrents, and we can see here from the side that we've got fire coming in from the bottom of the picture and from the right hand side of the picture. And yellow's base is pretty much demolished. No more HQ for the yellow player, so yellow is also out of power, so this is bad news for the yellow player. Eric's is going to go down there, and now we're just moving on to the red player's base. We can see red is also HQ4, but it's not going to matter. We're going to clean up the rest of their base, and it's going to be a good game. Alright, thanks for joining us for this battle, and we will see you in the next one.
Victory.